Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming by for yet another episode of Skipping Lunch After Dark. It's lunchtime somewhere, but I am actually psyched to have my guest on tonight because I met her at Page this year. Actually, got to interview her twice, which I'm sure we'll pick up at some point during our conversation, and have just researching her before, very much appreciated her. After we talked, really appreciated all the cool things that she does and the energy that she brings to the hobby and all the cool things that she provides to it. So I am really excited to have one TR Rose Nickel on tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's awesome. I'm going to remember to put on my do not disturb so I do not keep
Get
hearing
dings. That's such a
dings.
good idea.
There's always dings that are in the background. Ba-dunk. I'm like, I don't need to hear that right now. So, oh, and there's my friend Justin who's here. Hi, Justin. How are you? Justin's one of my players and one of my neighbors. He's a good guy. So, thank you so much for coming on. We were having such a cool chat before the stream started. I was like, oh, it's 8:30. I guess we don't
Yeah.
need the countdown timer because we need to go right to start, which is a fun time. Um, I don't like give your address, but like generally speaking, what region are you hailing from today?
Milwaukee. So in
Okay,
Wisconsin.
so you did not get. Are you from Milwaukee?
Hmm.
Wow, the land of Laverne and Shirley. Awesome. But you didn't get the major blizzard that we just had coming through.
No, thankfully not, because I actually was coming traveling. I was coming from Colorado. So
Oh,
if
that's right.
yeah, if the blizzard had been hitting, I would have been like not been able to come home. So
Well, so my friend Neil was at Genghis Khan and couldn't fly back because he had to fly back to Massachusetts. I think he ended up taking a train.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm very thankful. I feel bad for all of you. I'm so sorry. You
It
were
melted.
suffering as
This one
well.
melted fast. The first snow we had was still around a month later because it just froze solid. It did not go
Right,
away because it
right.
was 18 degrees for a month. It
Yeah,
was
I
not a
heard
good
about
time.
the ice. There was an ice car apparently in New York that was very famous
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah. I don't like it. I don't like cold. I don't like cold. But
Yeah, well, you
anyway,
live in this hemisphere.
yeah, you're good. So I know I want to say, but where else can I go?
Yeah.
So great to have you here. We're talking. You're an hour behind me. So we're time traveling too, which is always fun. Eric King Eric is here. Good to see you.
Hello.
Um, but I always like to start as I smack my lips. I always like to start the interviews here on channel with just some get to know you questions.
Yeah.
Just for folks to kind of like, okay, this is kind of who we're talking to. It's my version of the Colbert questionnaire, and since he's getting canceled, we have to make sure that we keep the tradition up.
I love that.
So the first thing that I like to ask folks, and I ask this everybody on the channel because this is a very interesting and bizarre hobby that sucks in some very interesting and bizarre and strange
It
people,
does. Yeah.
present company included, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you first get drawn into the TTRPG hobby?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a crazy journey, I would say, because I didn't know when I played it for the first time, like a TTRPG, I had no idea what it was. I just thought it was like a board game, but with like theater of the mind. And so I didn't quite understand, but it was in high school and I
Okay.
played Call of Cthulhu. It was I saw these people in the library after school playing a game and I was like, "What are you doing?" And they were like Call of Cthulhu and I was like the Lovecraft Cthulhu and they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "It's a game?" And I was like, "Okay, I want to play." And
This
so
this fits so well, knowing what I know of what you were like in high school and some of the things that you wrote that like you're like, "Huh?" So perfect. Your first game is Call of Cthulhu. All right, great. Okay.
So excited. And that was the only time I ever played, a TTRPG that,
Okay.
you know, I had known of Dungeons and Dragons,
Sure.
obviously, but now I do always have to apologize. And I've even said this to Luke, Gygax at one point in our conversations that we, at cons and stuff, is that I thought it was for old white men who lived in their mother's basements. Like that was my true depiction of what I thought Dungeons and Dragons was. Like it, I it was fantasy and it was some weird game that everyone bullied in Hollywood. And
Hmm.
I was like, it's not for me. Like, it's not, it is obviously not my demographic. And it wasn't until, are you familiar with who PewDiePie is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I was really into Let's Plays because video gaming was like the original avenue of gaming that I was really into, and I actually wanted that to be my career was video.
Okay.
And so I was listening to his podcast years ago, and Matthew Mercer came on as a guest, and they were playing this game, and I was so confused what game they were playing, and so I looked up who Matthew Mercer was, and
Okay.
to Critical Role, which was still on Geek and Sundry at the time in their season 1 of, like, Vox Machina.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I started watching this stream to understand what this game was, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is Dungeons& and Dragons." I said, "What? This isn't old, white men playing this game?" I was like, "This looks so cool," and you get to play like, you're just playing make believe with your friends, and you're rolling some pretty looking dice, like, this is so cool. And I was like, I need to learn more about this, and so I bought the books, and I started researching, and I started, like, digging into what is a TTRPG, and then I played D&D for the first time, and that was where Zalia came into creation.
We are
And
going to talk about her. Yes.
so that was like my intro, and I just never quit after. And I spread out, so I've played many different RPGs
Yeah.
in my time now, but that was, I can't even, 2015, 2016, I think, was when I first started playing D&D.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Eric wants to know if you're drinking chilled mead.
I wish. No,
That'd be
this
very
is,
nice. I would like that.
yeah, this
So-
is this is unfortunately just water, but with because I don't like drinking normal tap water, I put my little Mio thing over there.
Oh, I have my plain seltzer water. I'm
Yeah.
utterly
Bottled
boring.
water is fine, but tap water, it
Ugh.
depends the location in Milwaukee. What
Okay.
it tastes like.
I used to
So,
love going down the shore
yeah.
and the tap water down there because it was like the desalinated, because it's basically ocean water.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite water.
It's
And everybody thinks that's gross. I'm like, no, it's really, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
There's some great tap water out there. In my old house in Milwaukee, it was the best tap water ever. It was it was so good. Everyone was like, "What water am I drinking?" Like, they thought I poured bottled water into a glass, and I'm like, "It's just the tap water." And they're like, "It's so good." It's like, "I know, it's really good water." I don't know what they're putting in it, but it tasted delicious.
I love how we just like veered off into like comparing tap
Sorry.
water.
Welcome to my show.
Well, yes, welcome to
This is
the two
tangents.
people who are probably not able to stay on task for anything unless we're hyper focused.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right, so that's how you first get a hobby. You are so you are the critter that the stereotypical old white man who lives in their mother's basement says doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Someone who actually got to play the game and expanded out into the wider hobby.
Yeah.
So which is
It was an awakening, because I mean, I've been a nerd my whole life. I've played video games, TCGs, like I was big into Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
ooh, okay.
And so it was like I've always been in nerd culture, but it was just like most, like, TTRPGs was just an offsect, and
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons was the only thing that I'd ever really heard of, and it wasn't until retrospect that I realized that Call of Cthulhu was a TTRPG, and that's what it was referred
And
to.
you had no idea, like it just did not, because it
No,
wasn't
no idea.
D&D, so it wasn't the Kleenex, so you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
quite pick
and
it
so
up.
I just thought it was a really cool game, and I was like, "Oh, we get to lose our minds and, like, just
That is
act it all out," so it was just cool.
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love hearing people's origin stories is really kind of neat. So
Mhm.
that's one of the cooler ones. I played Call of Cthulhu and didn't know it was an RPG. Perfect. Which makes
Like,
sense if you
yeah.
are fixated on that one thing being
Yeah.
what role-playing games are.
And it's kind of cool coming full circle of like that Chaosium makes Call of Cthulhu, right? And now I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually working with Chaosium. And so,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a little crazy that that was
We're
my first one.
we're going to talk about that because I went deets. So, because you couldn't talk to me about it at Page, so now I want to know. All right, so you are playing at a table,
Yeah.
whatever system you want to play. So, if you have a choice, what type of system are you playing first?
Ooh, man. Well, I have two answers to this, and it's because I have my real answer, but a lot of people just think I'm biased.
Okay.
Then I have my okay, yes. My answer is my own system
You're
of, I absolutely love playing the different one-page dice dungeons. Like I have
Yep.
so much fun because they're so different and they're so easy that it's like it takes 5 minutes to
Mm-hmm.
create a character and dig in, and it's so free form that it doesn't matter the genre, it doesn't matter any like you can just decide, you know what, we're gonna make up a story as we go,
And
and
just
like
do it.
and just do it. Yeah, it just gives you the mechanics, and then you can do literally whatever else you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that concept so much as a creative and as a author, like it allows me to write as I go, improv, on the
Mm-hmm.
spot. So, and I enjoy that.
It is a lot of fun.
Hmm.
So when you're playing your one-page dice tender,
Yeah.
so someone else is running the system and you're actually running a
Yeah.
character. What is your favorite type of character to play?
The chaotic one. I love causing and ensuing pain to all of those around me.
My
But
gosh.
I'm helpful because I'm a strategist. So even when I play chaotic characters, my strategist comes out anyway. Um,
Okay.
so I will like Gemma is probably my core character. Like if I could just take her and play her in every single game,
Okay.
I think I would be the happiest person in the world because she's just the perfect amount of chaos. She's like ADHD personified, and you have to
Right.
babysit her because she gets bored, which means she'll do something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so she isn't afraid to set off a trap on purpose because she thinks it's funny. And she will purposely go out and touch a zombie because sneaking around for hours just seems so boring to her. And she's never seen a zombie before. So why wouldn't she go out and inspect it? She's an intellectual. She wants to study things. And so, she's highly intelligent, but she acts so airy and obtuse, like, and
Uh-huh.
naive that, you forgive her a little bit because she talks like this, and it's really cool to just go out there and see the world, and you never know what you're going to find, and that's pretty cool. You shouldn't be scared of the things you don't know, because what if you find something really fun? And so like that's her personality to a T, and I just love playing her and like those chaotic more characters. But I do play more stoic and serious. It just depends the campaign and the people at the table.
I one of these days I'm gonna have to get you to play a game with my daughter because
Yeah.
she is that.
Hmm.
She has a character in Numenera that bears a halo of fire and discovered a cabbage salesman and just always has cabbages on her to light
I
them on
love
fire and throw them at people.
that.
Um,
That's amazing.
and her Call of Cthulhu character with the campaign that they play, she always tells me what she makes is essentially that type of insanity, which
Yeah. It's just the most fun because you can do whatever you want, right? Like I just feel free that I don't have like I stick to the character of the naivete, right? Like
sure, yeah,
the happy-go-lucky, oh wow, this is traumatizing, but I'm gonna smile through it because what else
yeah.
can I do?
Hmm.
Type of personality. I but in terms of choices made, you never know what she's gonna choose to do or
Right,
what.
because it's just gonna like
Yeah.
you have choice A through C. I'm gonna choose F. Look, okay, we had not thought of that. Great. Were you
Exactly.
a theater kid?
Um, not really, I would say. I was in choir and I did do like the musicals and things like that, but I wouldn't put myself on the pedestal of theater kid because those
Okay,
kids.
you're saying pedestal theater kid. Okay, I was
Yeah, yeah.
getting ready to be insulted, but that's
No,
okay.
no,
That's all
no,
right.
because there when you say theater kid, there's a clear distinction in the mind of like summer camps and every play and every and that was not me. I was
Okay,
very versatile. So I did a lot of different I was a cheerleader. I worked 3 jobs. I had a lot of friends. I went to party. I did all the things. Like I was a part of all the groups and
okay,
so there wasn't like a singular me per se. It was kind of I did all the hobbies.
awesome. You were
Yeah,
all over the place, so
yeah,
you wouldn't describe yourself as a theater kid. I
yeah,
got it. That's
yes,
okay.
yeah. But I mean,
I'll
I
for-
admire them because I think I would have
I'll,
had a lot of fun doing it.
I'll forgive you. It's okay. I have Free Bird in the background when I'm free forming. This is King Eric, the greatest of all. That's his YouTube username. So this is
It's
the type of
amazing.
comment Eric always will leave during stream. I think he's trying to see how fast he can distract me.
Oh, from what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's usually like within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel I beat him in this one because I got you talking about tap water.
we were comparing tap water. I was talking about my childhood going down the Jersey Shore
Yeah.
and making lemonade that tasted really distinct because of Jersey Shore tap water. It's
Yeah.
if you know Jersey Shore fountain soda is the best fountain soda on the planet. Let's get back to the interview. So,
Yeah.
all right. Now here's I warned you. I had one of these questions was unnecessarily hostile because I wanted an answer. So
Okay.
here's my unnecessarily hostile thing,
Good
which
to hear.
I wrote this and I read it's like that's a little strong, but okay, we're going to go with it anyway.
Mhm.
You are locked in a room. You cannot be let out until you give a definitive answer.
Okay.
Because no one's answered this question. I'm like, darn it, I'm getting an answer.
All right.
When you are playing a game, do you prefer roll under or roll over mechanics?
Um,
And now you know why I locked you in a room.
yeah, I would say I do like the idea. Like, I do think it's simpler to do the roll under because of the percentage chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think like Chaosium's games are really cool, is because they utilize those mechanics of like you have an 80% chance of like
Mm-hmm.
succeeding in this, right? Um, or and so I kind of like that mentality of yeah.
I will pull a Stephen Colbert. You have answered correctly.
Yeah.
So, all right, last question for the get to know you. And I love the way I framed this time, especially considering the award you just got.
Uh-huh.
You are in a room with Professor DM,
Okay.
Bob Worldbuilder, fantasy cartographer Anna B. Meyer, Heather Ashcroft, and Kelsey Dion.
Mhm.
There's 6 chairs around the table. One of them is set up for the GM. Which seat are you going for?
Oh, I want a GM.
You are the first person, right? I don't know if you're the first person, but you're the first person who didn't even hedge.
No, I
You're
want
just
a
like,
GM.
I'm going to GM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why are you, with that group of people, why are you going to GM? Just because that's what you do?
I mean, I love telling stories and I love being the narrator of the world, It's what I do. I spent 5 years, building out a world, just so I
Uh-huh,
could tell
uh-huh.
a story.
Mm-hmm.
And so I genuinely just love I love the aspect of kind of being the narrator or like the conductor,
Gotcha. Okay.
of of the setting and scenario. And how cool to have those people as my players. All incredible. And I would
Mm-hmm.
love to just see them interact with the world that I'm putting in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
In any setting or any rule set, it doesn't really matter to me. But getting to put forth a narrative for them to enjoy and entertain them and showcase, like
Mm-hmm.
this is my talent, I think it would be a big honor to run that table. So
I should have expected you to answer that way.
yeah.
Well, because what type of achiever are you?
I am an overachiever.
Overachiever. I just set up like,
Place.
here's the bar. What are you gonna do with it, Rose? I'm going over.
I'm
Like,
going
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't think I could sit at the GM with that group of people. I'd be
Oh, it
like,
would be
nope.
intimidating, and I would feel like I failed 100%. It doesn't matter how fun everyone had. I'd be like, "I could have done that better." That's gonna be my mentality after that game, and I'm gonna be, like, shaking nervous up until the moment I actually run it, but
But you're doing
I
it.
lose it, you know, the nerves disappear the moment people start playing in it, you know?
They really do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because everyone's just there to have a good time, and I wanna create a good I wanna create that good time, and I wanna help facilitate that good time, and I wanna, you know, I don't know. I would run for that GM spot. I really
I mean,
would.
I gave you an all-star cast. You went, I'm running game for those people. I gotta
Yeah.
go. I
100%, without
gotta
question.
give you props. I can see Professor DM saying the same things, like, oh, I'm running the game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
awesome. Good answers. Very good answers. Even the necessarily hostile one, because I definitely wanted to get a definitive answer out of you.
I get why you think that why that would come off as hostile, I really do. But to be
Well,
honest,
yeah. I mean, I locked you in a room. I mean,
right.
that's a little that starts off as
Yeah,
hostile, right?
yeah. But, yeah, I think
And for the internet, this is like metaphorically. We're not fucking like real. So
I'm actually trapped in this room.
there's no one's physically locked anywhere. This is all just a mental exercise. It is unnecessarily hostile, but we're gonna. All right, let's talk about your career arc, because I did not know that you wanted to start in video games, because I don't think that came up in our
Oh, yeah, probably
page
not.
chat. So your tagline on your webpage right now, which people can see on the thumbnail for this interview, is game developer and writer, author, and power girl GM, or girl power GM, not power girl GM. That would be different. But now you actually have to amend it, because you are now an award-winning girl power GM.
Yeah.
Let's just talk. What award did you just get?
Well, at GenghisCon, they have a tradition of handing out Iron GM awards, and for them, it's, like, some of it's running that many games,
Right.
like, it's an impressive amount of games. Others is performance and dedication to the craft
Mm-hmm.
of providing the, the experience.
Yeah.
And so Jeff Richards from Chaosium actually was the one that awarded me the Iron GM as I was running. I was actually there for Chaosium. They had flown me out there to run RuneQuest. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, and it was the first time I had ever run it, and I had amazing feedback. I felt undeserving of the praise my players were giving me, and some of the feedback we got on the stuff. So
Awesome.
it was really cool and very kind. And there's one picture, and I will post it online coming soon, of me after he had placed it over my head, and I'm like so happy. And it's so good. It's my favorite photo of the whole thing, because I'm just like, I'm so overjoyed.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yes, we're just geeking out. We're having fun. It's good.
Yeah.
I told you before stream, Dave from Grimwood Games played a game with you at Page, and I won't say insist like he's trying to convince himself, just completely is certain that you are the best GM he's ever had.
I feel so undeserving. That's so kind. That's
Yeah.
so kind. I feel like, and like this is the mentality of like there's always better to be done,
Yes.
And after every game I run, in my head I think, wow, that was terrible. I need to fix this, and this, and this. And that's every game, and I run a lot of games, so
you do run a lot of games.
A lot of improving on my end that I feel like I need to do.
It's you have impressed people, which I think is a good thing. You are an award-winning girl power GM. You have to go with it.
Girl power.
Girl power.
Girls
So
in gaming.
Good. So definitely a Renaissance woman. Really, really cool. All over the place. You had said that you had wanted originally to make video games your career. So did you go to school for that?
So I got accepted into the art university in San Francisco for video games.
Okay.
So I was going for video game development, and so I was going to learn how to like program code, do all
So
of
you
the
wanted to be the coding on end of things.
well,
Okay.
I the end goal was to be the script writer. Like I wanted to write
Ah,
the
okay.
story.
Okay.
But you have to learn it all. You can't, you
You
know.
have to know how the entire sausage is made. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they told the reason why I chose that university in particular was because they partnered with the largest gaming studios
Uh-huh.
in the world for senior projects. So like you would showcase your game, and these big name developers were going to be there
Gotcha.
to essentially like suss out talent.
Mm-hmm.
And Naughty Dog was one that I was like, if I could write a script for Naughty Dog, I feel like
That
that
would
would be
be
really cool.
that
Yeah,
was the
but
bucket list item. Okay.
I got in and I was enrolling in classes, but unfortunately, due to like serious health issues, I had to put my whole life on hold.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so I was not able to go to school. And so I am technically uneducated. I finished high school, but anything beyond that, I didn't actually get to do. I did later in time
Mm-hmm.
uh, get into another university for business that my company at the time I was working for was paying for.
Okay.
But I hated it, and I said, "This is boring. I already know all of this," and so I was like, "I'm not doing it." I was like, "It's a waste of my time," and so I dropped out. I was like, "I'm not doing that."
See a little bit of the neurodivergent.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
it was really yeah. Well, and I was working full time, and I was doing like
you,
I was still trying to be creative, and
mm-hmm.
and trying to do full time school on that was just, whew, it
I
was
mean,
not.
school's a job.
Yeah, it was a little too much for my plate. So I was like, I don't need a degree. I've proven that. So I was like, I'm just gonna,
Pretty successful.
yeah, I'm just gonna.
Also well read. I don't know. Like,
I do like to read. I read a
yeah.
lot. I do read a lot. I did take a course at Harvard.
Did you really? What'd you
Mhm,
take?
They're computer programming.
So what's your favorite language to program in?
It I only really worked with Java, to be honest, but
Write once, run anywhere.
yeah.
It's not true, but it's a great mantra.
Yeah.
Uh,
I worked with it was a interior course, so it wasn't like the full program. So it wasn't like I went to school for computer programming at Harvard. It was their course on computer programming.
okay.
So you like I just learned the introductions. I made a video game.
Did you
Like
really?
yeah, yeah.
Would you make
Oh man.
like a
Well, so the
single screen
assignment,
arcade game, or would you make
yeah,
like?
so I made a game actually for my original application for the School of Art,
Okay.
Art University, and uh, that one was a platform jumper, but in
Oh
first
really?
person.
Oh,
So
you're
think
sadistic.
Mario. Think about Mario, right? And the side
No,
scroller, but you're in first
no.
person
First,
instead.
no. That's wrong. You're a cruel. Now that goes right back into what I know from you writing in your high school
Yeah,
days. That's just cruel.
yeah, and
A first person
so
platformer. Ugh.
yeah, and then I for that class, the assignment was to create a like a choice branch game. So you have like
Yeah.
if you choose this, now you have two more options and two
Okay.
in a diverging path, right?
Yeah.
And so the uh the one I did was there was a girl lost in the woods, and you're essentially trying to find your way out. And there's a dragon.
So you made Zork.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I always wanted to try making Zork. I mean, technically, I can do
Yeah, it was
that in
pretty easy.
Basic.
It was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Out of all the out of a lot of things I could have done. I was like, a girl lost in the woods leaves you open to a lot of choices.
Yeah,
You know?
you're all over the place. That's
Yeah.
really cool. They have entire Roblox games based
Yeah.
on that now. And look, if you look at chat, like everybody's now commenting on which computer language you should be using.
Python, yeah.
So go to Python.
I mean,
Python's not compiled. It's an interpreted language.
yeah.
So
Java is, I think they essentially just taught that one because it is the most utilized and universal, I guess. But
Oh, you're
yeah,
now going to get a lot of comments in chat.
sorry.
It's going to be fun. That's going to be great. I basically taught myself PHP, and then
Oh,
it went
okay.
to object oriented, and it was like, I'm out. So
Bye.
I like my brain looked at, nope, I'm out. I don't need to do that. I can use somebody else's code.
I'm not saying Java is the best because I can't compare. I'm just saying what I think why they utilize that one more frequently than others.
You have to be using this.
Yeah.
I have seen in my day. I have seen some people really serious arguments over computer languages. I'm like, what
They
is?
can argue all they want.
I
The only
don't care.
programming I really do is on websites. So, like, that's the only time I really utilize my programming
Did you
skills.
program your backend for your site?
Yeah.
Nice. Very.
Yeah.
What'd you use? Or do you not want to give it away because now we know how to hack it?
No.
So
Yeah. I'll just say that Squarespace offers a lot of flexibility.
I like Squarespace.
Yeah.
I do like Squarespace.
Yeah. So I utilize their base because it's, easy and you can mess with it a lot. So
Yep. Then if you want to add some code in, you can,
yeah.
which is nice. I wish I could afford Squarespace. I've used it quite often, but can't afford it. Shrug, and it gets the job done for what I need. Wes, he's arguing because I said that Python wasn't a compiled language, but you're not going to write like a high-end video game in it. That's the point. No. So we all did PHP until it went OOD, object-oriented design. Yeah, it did. It was great with my MySQL. I made my own books database with it. It was fun.
Yeah. And it depends, honestly, what you're trying to do.
They're all widgets. They're all widgets.
Yeah.
Although nowadays, if you really wanted to get a job and have job security, you had to learn COBOL because no one else can program it anymore.
Yeah.
And like all the banks need it. Mm-hmm. And we've gone way off tangent again.
Yes.
So wanted to go for computer games. Unfortunately, health issues couldn't do that. So I'm really, I'm sorry for that. Although I think it's our gain for the hobby.
Reason, right? Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's a gain for our hobby because you didn't get sucked into video games.
Oh, shucks.
You can go do it now. But you are a game developer and a writer.
Yes.
So, I mean, nowadays, it seems like anybody who's got a YouTube channel eventually makes a game.
Right. Yeah.
Which is part of what's going on. But even then, but breaking into that type of career as an actual career is really, really hard.
Oh, for sure.
So how did you get into it?
Well, so like it really started with authoring, to be honest, and going into game conventions to sell my books and getting to be part of that community.
Right.
And I did develop games, but in my mind, it wasn't a sellable product, right?
Right.
I had the D4 system for one-page Dice Dungeons, essentially like planned out already. Right. And Jerry really liked the idea of
Jerry is
my business partner. So Jerry Red Shepherd, she is the co-owner of Red Rose Works, who produces One Page Dice Dungeons and Dungeon Race RPG.
There we go.
And Fiendish Fate, which will be coming out later this year as well. Yeah, by Jason Johnson.
Yay.
And so I had the D4 system already kind of done. And so she had been working with G20 magazine, which is Luke Gygax's magazine at the time. And they had been trying to see if they could find really simple game mechanics that they could maybe introduce into the magazine. And so Jerry had asked me if I had any system in mind, like if I knew any of any system, because, I had played a very wide variety of games at this point.
Gotcha.
And I said, well, I have a system that I'm, like I worked on that's really simple and like it's made to be like played with nothing but a single die, really. And she loved the idea and the concept so much that she's like, we're gonna make this a whole product line.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and so together we did the rest of the systems. So we have one for every die,
Hmm.
and and then a full set system as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And you donated one for the EcclesiaCon auction. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. Which
Mhm.
you signed,
I did. I
which
did
I
sign.
completely forgot. It's like I
I
should have had it
told you I had
signed.
your back. I gotcha.
Yep. That was awesome. So really cool. So you broke into that and then you got into writing for other systems. I mean,
It kinda came, like, hand in hand.
okay.
It's kind of like a blur a little bit of, like, because it's happened so fast. Like,
Hmm.
I've only really been doing this, like, in the game world for about, like, a year, maybe a little more. And, so, I mean, the writing talent is there, right? Like, that's why I have a career at all is my books, you know? And so having someone that's, like, who has that background and, like, that success in writing, it was an easy transition into game writing.
Hmm.
And Jerry was a big help in that too because she had already been been in the industry, and so
Hmm.
she was able to essentially vouch for me, and you know, and
Oh,
then
wow.
as other people got to know me, meet me, read my stuff, see what I could do, they began vouching for me. And, it became this word of mouth thing that I was able to do the thing. And,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah,
But
it's
I
all
know,
about networking and showcasing your work.
well, I mean, that's huge. I mean, we did
Yeah.
talk like you were showcasing all your stuff, but the
Yeah.
fact that you had friends that believed in you,
Yeah.
that were willing
Absolutely.
to introduce you to other people,
Yeah.
pretty huge, which not everybody gets that
Yeah.
opportunity.
No,
So
definitely not.
make
Very blessed.
friends.
Yeah.
Very good. Um, but I don't. I know you were talking. It's like it was easy to make the transition from writing fiction to writing a game, but not everybody can do that, Rose.
I guess not, but in my mind, it feels like an extension of the craft, you know?
It is, but there's a
Mhm.
different. It's a different mode of writing because
It
you've
is,
gone
yeah.
from fiction to essentially nonfiction, and
Mhm.
how to write that well so that people actually don't go.
Yeah.
Um, that's not
It's a
easy to do,
it's a blend. I used to do freelance writing
right?
on the side, and this is, like when I say freelance writing, I mean, because technically what I do now is freelance writing, but
Hmm.
I I call it game writing, right? Because that's
Yeah,
focus. But what I mean is I wrote for magazines and,
yeah.
like, did education programs and did like I wrote for whoever would hire me to write whatever it is they needed from me,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so I absorbed the talent of writing in any voice, through
Cool.
doing that. And so when someone's like, "Oh, can you take a feeling of a nonfiction element of writing a manual, right?
Mhm.
But in a way that's still narrative and enjoyable to read." I was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
I got it." I was like,
You can
"Okay,
do it.
yeah."
Love it. It's not easy, but it just shows that you really work on your craft.
Yeah,
So,
it's practice. It's definitely not, done.
I
Like,
got it. This is just
uh,
how I roll.
it's
Yeah.
life experience of all the different things that I've done,
Yep.
coming together for me to make it feel easy, like an easier transition, is because of just all the different experiences I've specifically had. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't do one thing. Do many things. You'll be
Do
fine.
many things. If you do all the
Mhm.
things, jack of all trades, and I took that to heart.
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do all the things because that is the that is the best way
I
to
got a super chat from Agile Monk saying, "TR Nickel, you just need to accept that you're a powerhouse of talent."
oh man.
I absolutely agree with that, by the way, Agile Monk, and thank you so much for the super chat. That
Thank
was really
you.
kind.
That's very
So,
sweet. I appreciate that. I'm a firm believer that there's always more to improve and continue to work towards. And I remind myself plenty of times. I get humbled by my own work more often than not. I read something and I'm like, Tiffany, what were you thinking?
I hate it when, and I'm nowhere near like your level of skill or accomplishment. But I hate it when I read something that I read and went, I don't even know if that's proper English.
Right. You're like, what was happening?
Like, did a
Nothing about
squirrel run by the window when I was
right.
writing that? Like, what happened? Like, there's no pronouns
Yeah.
and the subject is in the weird spot. And I don't know what's going on.
Sentences are hard. English is hard.
English is difficult. It's very
Yeah.
there's no organization. But I agree, you are very much a powerhouse. I told people before, I am a big fan. Just as like just from interacting with you, a very big fan. I really, really want to see you take off even further than you've already
I
done.
appreciate that. I'm trying to make it the, like it's my full-time career,
Yeah.
but the yeah, I know this is a subject you wanted to talk about. It just
Yeah.
kind of naturally is the glamour,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and that like that I am very, successful in this industry. I feel like based on benchmarks that I've been told, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, that success does not always equate to large amounts of equity.
No, we do not. Nobody does this for money unless you're Brandon Sanderson. When you have the Brandon Sanderson
Yeah, like
money,
there's white whales is in the
yeah,
author industry we call them white whales. And those are your big, your big houses that are not like the publishing houses, but like your J.K. Rowling, unfortunately, but
uh-huh.
that is a white whale. She
She
had her one series and it blew
big
up
old
so
success.
massively, and then you have your Dune, right? Like those
Yep.
franchises are freaking massive. Brandon Sanderson is another white whale. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have
Terry
these,
Pratchett.
right, yes,
So yeah.
absolutely. You have these very specific authors who not just are accomplished, but are making mass amounts of money
Yep.
off of those successes and those accomplishments. And that's rare
Mm-hmm.
in both gaming industry and in
Yep.
right, like authorship as well. Any art, to be honest, any art form.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a working actor.
yeah.
Like I work for a living. Like I
Mhm.
make a living. I have my well, I mean, like if an actor, you would have equity insurance, and so I
Yeah.
have my health insurance. I'm good. But we're not necessarily. Not everybody is rich and famous.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yep.
so my goal is I don't need my name in like shining lights. I don't want that. I would be honestly be like, "Oh god, what do I do?" Um
We'll get you an Annie at some point. It'd be fun.
one day. But for me it's more about I want to get to that big point where it's not just a name or like a talent, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a sustainable business that like I can then help others and bring others in and afford like
Yep.
pay for them to do the survival and like and have them on board is I want I'm a believer that we all need to move forward together and move up together, and the more successful I am, I'm going to turn around and make that success other people's successes. I was so graciously welcomed into the industry, and people believed in my talent and saw my
Mm-hmm.
worth and were willing to bet on that and allow me to make this a career, and I want to be able to afford to do that for others.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's like my next big push is I'm doing the thing. I'm surviving. I pay all my bills myself. My company is the breadwinner.
Uh-huh.
And but I need it to I want if I want to move forward with that dream and lift others up,
You do need to
in a
next
way.
step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's my next big push in the next year, like this year and the next year.
Just you doing this for a year. We'll make it next in a year. You'll be at the point. Yeah. Good.
I've been in the writing
I
industry
know you've been in for a
so
while. You have a couple. We're going to talk about your books for a second.
Mhm.
And Agile Monk, yes, EcclesiaCon is May 1st and 2nd this year in Palmyra, New Jersey. You can find the link is strolling behind me. All right. This, as I stroll on myself. So it's so cool that the first game you played was Call of Cthulhu because currently you are working for Chaosium
Yes, yeah.
on a project. Now, you told me you were working for Chaosium on a project at Page, and we're not allowed to say anything to me at
Yeah.
all about what the
I can
project
tell
is.
you it was RuneQuest and that
You
it
did,
was
yes, you did tell me it
new
was
material.
RuneQuest.
Yeah.
So What more information can you get me now?
Yeah. So they are currently working on streamlining the rule system to make it more accessible to new players. So,
Okay.
because one of the things about RuneQuest is that it's very daunting because the amount of lore Glorantha, which is the world that it's set in, has,
Yeah, I mean, it
as
is a
well. Yeah.
big 3-volume set to get
Oh,
into.
for sure,
Yes.
and plus, you know,
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
there's 50 years of material on this one game. Um,
Mhm.
and it's all build off each other, you know.
Yep.
It's like reading history books. Um, and the rule system is very niche and it's very cool. And if you are willing to sit down and read through all of it, you
It's
can
wild.
play. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth it. But unfortunately, we live in a day and age where people want fast and quick and easy. And RuneQuest just is meant to be a very niche, fun, beautiful system that has realistic war mechanics. And like that's a hard thing to just jump in. But I will say we test played the new rule systems, like the tweaks that we've made. Majority of it's going to stay the same. It's
Okay.
just the introductory to it is more streamlined. There's some
Okay.
additional things that make it more dimensional, and it's super super fun. And we had a bunch of new players come in and play, like had never played RuneQuest before, and
Awesome.
they said it was very digestible, easy to get into, and they felt like it was as easy as sitting down at the table.
Oh,
um
wow.
yeah. And
And
so it was really cool to experience having that, because that was something that they had been saying that had been lacking in the community of
awesome.
RuneQuest, was the approachability. And I'm currently one of 4 on a team that are building new material for
Okay.
RuneQuest. So we're bringing brand new, uh essentially there's the old RuneQuest, and now there's the future of Glorantha, and we're
Okay. So
moving
is
into a
this
new age.
essentially a new edition that you're working on? Or are they
Yes.
not calling it that? So you are working
Well,
on
yeah, there isn't a name for it. It's just new
it's
rules of
something new.
RuneQuest. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's simply new. We have not
Gotcha.
been told a name, so I couldn't even tell you if if I
You
did
just you
not
just
know.
know you're making new
I
stuff.
know I'm making new stuff. Yeah, I have a working title for the stuff that the material we're working on, and I think they like it, and I think we're gonna go with it. But I can't. Yeah, I
You
don't know
can't
yet.
say it. I
Yeah,
won't
because I
I
don't
won't
know. I don't know.
I'm not gonna try to pull that out of you.
Yeah.
Maybe after the stream. Um and that's see, RuneQuest is one of those games that I'm really fascinated by.
Yeah.
And it is daunting to get. Like I go and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know where to start.
Right. And we're taking that away. Literally,
Okay.
if you've never played, if you don't even know what Glorantha is, all you need to know is that it's Bronze Age. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And that
Basically.
gods are very influential and that everybody has magic. That's all you really need to know.
Mhm.
And like the rule system is being streamlined to make it much more easy to build characters, to understand how to play the game. And so there's cheat sheets that are being created as well and have been
Awesome.
wildly successful, that you could honestly never reference the core rule mechanics unless like you had a very specific question by a player.
Sweet.
um yeah, so it's the cheat sheets have
I love it.
yeah.
Okay, that now maybe I'll finally get to play RuneQuest. That makes me happy.
You should.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a lot of fun. Yeah, all of the new stuff. So we're doing test plays and teasers of at GaryCon, at Origins, and at Chaosium Con. And
Okay.
so for GaryCon and for Chaosium Con, the moment that those tickets went up, they were all sold out
Oh
at both
wow.
events. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have to shout out to my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning, who just gifted 5 DM Tales
Oh,
memberships to folks who are here. So that's really
thank
nice of you.
you.
Thank you so much. Very,
That's so
very
kind.
kind. Ear trumpet. We have a global audience right now because my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning is in Australia. So kind of fun. Thank you so much. That was really kind. Um, So we've talked about your one-page dungeons. We talked about you working on Chaosium. I now finally have some information out of you, which made me happy. I've been trying to pry that out of you for a month. So let's talk about you being a fantasy author,
Yeah.
because this is where you got your start in your current career
Mhm.
arc or trajectory. And I love the origin story for how you ended up writing this character,
Yeah.
or writing this world, or creating this world is what I should say.
Yeah.
Can you share with folks like how it is that you ended up with Lemuria and this world that your character is running around in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, earlier in the interview, I mentioned Zalia, who was
Hmm.
my first ever D&D character. I created her backstory, and I went hard. Being a writer, I was like, I'm going to go as in depth as possible with who
You're
she
the
is.
person who came with the 20-page backstory.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, and so I created the Adamina clan, which was a guild of bounty hunters in the D&D world, and I I like this concept of like a sovereign state. So it was like segregated from like the rest of the country's government, and they really kind of just were like almost like nomads, but they had their own internalized structure, right? So like
Okay.
they had their own system of government that they kind of ruled by. Um, but I unfortunately experienced what a lot of people experience, which is that the campaign ended before like you could resolve anything or dig into
Hmm.
anything. And so I felt so crushed and devastated by this that I spent 5 years building the world of Lemuria just so I could tell Zalia's story. I was like, I need to, I, there was such a good premise around who she was as a person. Like,
Hmm.
like this having to prove herself and it now I will say it's changed a lot very dramatically from what the campaign story was
Sure.
going to be to what's actually in the book. Like, if you read the first draft and read this, you'd been like, these are two different books entirely. Like
Hmm.
these,
Hmm.
they just share names of characters and that's it. Um, but so she's kind of like trying to prove herself. Like she's the Marsal, so she's in charge of the military or like the safety of the of the Adamina clan. So
Okay.
this winding expanse of a village that lives on top of trees. She's in charge of and in the Vermilion Forest where she's located, there's the worst kinds of creatures imaginable.
Uh-huh.
And their whole job, the reason why they're allowed to be a sovereign like state in
Okay.
the country of Felgard in the world, is because of the fact that they keep these monsters from leaving the forest.
Okay.
So their job is to maintain them and ensure that the rest of the world, the rest of the realm, is not exposed to the monstrosities that live inside this magical forest.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome. Okay.
yeah, but in creating this and her story, this world, I realized it was just so massive what I had done, 5,000 some years of history, and it was just way too big for her, just her. And so
Okay.
I created the rest of the legends, and that's how the series kind of became to be a thing. Is that each book has its own main character, but they're all interconnected, and so you get to see how they interpret the world and how if they run into each other or into other side characters or walk past a path that they had forever changed in another story. And it all kind of accumulates in book 5 when they have this like the major campaign adventure, like this is
Right.
the backstories and then when it all comes together.
So I remember describing it at Pages like it's almost like you're doing the phase one of the MCU.
Yeah,
As you're
yeah, that is
introducing all
kind
the
of what it is.
characters
Yeah.
piecemeal so they can all come together.
Hmm.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So for me, that experience, because I've experienced in a very small way of just having that character who is going to claw their way out of your skull no matter what.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for folks who have never written any sort of fiction, that's like a real thing. We're like, oh no, this person's coming out, like
Hmm.
wherever they go. Really, really cool. But in creating this world, I want to talk about the threads that you use to weave them
Oh,
all
sure.
together
Yeah.
in a second. But what is kind of like the baseline description of this world? Because I want to give it away a little bit. You have essentially created a new genre of fantasy.
You're very kind on that.
No, I think it's absolutely true. So, like, please describe this world, and we'll let the chat decide if it's a new genre of fantasy. I think it is, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, so I will coin it the way that you described it, which I kind of love, and now I kind of use as
Oh,
well,
good. I'm happy.
which is pre-apocalyptic
Mm-hmm.
high fantasy.
Yeah.
So, it's you get the whole, plethora of everything's new, like everything's unique in its own, like there's crazy creatures and
Mm-hmm.
highbrow and governments and like everything that you would want in a high fantasy
Mm-hmm.
novel. But now imagine if the world was, on the tilt towards the end of it, as magic is dying in the world, called the reduction. So,
Mm-hmm.
500 years some ago, before the events of book one of Light of Evanora, um, a massive doorway to one of the realms of the goddesses essentially burst open and created a cataclysmic event at killing millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And out of fear, they shut not just that doorway but all of the doorways to the goddesses, essentially cutting off the source of any magic. And over the years of that 500 years, magic has slowly been reducing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's been called the reduction, as fewer natural born users are essentially, coming about naturally, like in the world, right?
Right.
Natural
Right.
magic users. And there's a ton of fun, crazy chaos going on. A lot of things happen in that 500 years up to the point of book one, but essentially the governments have chosen their path of destiny of, like, this is how we're going to handle the end of the world, of when magic dies, which is the thing that is agriculture and what maintains systems, and it's a whole trading market. Some countries are going to hoard that power and treat it as a resource and as an economic leverage. Others have decided to abandon magic entirely and begun to industrialize.
Mm-hmm.
And you with all the different legends, you get to see how different countries essentially are deciding how to move forward, with the apocalypse essentially, staring down them at the in the face of magic is going to die.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But what I love about it is that is you've created that scarcity of resource where
Yeah.
drama happens in the way that people are interacting with it.
Yeah.
It's like you created a really neat imbalance that
Thank
needs
you.
to be explored. So I am really excited to dig into this series. And I did point this out at the page interview because folks see fantasy author who happens to be a female persuasion. Well, she's writing romantasy. This is not romantasy. This
No.
is which is fine.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is high fantasy.
it is high
So
fantasy, and I mean, romance, it sometimes is a part of life, right? And
yes.
some of the books do have those type of lines in them, but it's never the focus, and it's
Hmm.
only ever to build more about who this character is, and kind of showcase the real world
And
image.
yeah, and so like, your romantic relationship is going to be part of that story if
Yeah,
it's part of that thread, which
right.
makes sense.
Just as
Uh,
much as, like your relationship with the, you know, woman who runs the supply store. Like, you know,
mm-hmm.
have a good
It's
night.
yeah. See you, peasantry. See you, Zach.
Yeah.
He Zach. If you get a chance at Page next year to meet Zach and run and play peasantry, you will have an absolute
I know.
blast.
That we were talking about that on the recap.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right.
yeah, and I was like, I definitely want to play this game because it sounds like so much fun.
It's right up. And my ear trumpet just bought his Kindle copy of
Oh,
Light of
thank
Evanora,
you. Thank you.
which is cool. And I really wanted to make sure that people understood that this is like, don't pigeonhole, like, I see this, I'll assume that it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
And they
It's
saw
hard.
and unfortunately people also say it's a female protagonist in the first book. So of course it's like, no, stop. Like, stop it.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
a
no, she's
full-fledged character. And
yeah.
So,
Man, I one of the biggest compliments I ever got really about like the way that I write, is that everyone who it didn't, gender wise, whatever,
uh-huh.
they said that they felt like that character. And to me, that's a
Oh,
huge
neat.
compliment because it
Yeah.
for them, it was because they're in her shoes, they're in her perspective, that they felt like they were her or could relate to her or be her.
Uh-huh.
And that was like the whole point is my slogan is anyone can be a legend. And because I want people to feel like you can walk in the shoes of your heroes and you can walk that same path and you can, essentially be a legend yourself one day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because all of them are very ordinary people when you actually boil it down,
Mhm.
right? And there are some extraordinary circumstances that allow them the platform to become a legend. But in reality, they're just everyday people and they're struggling to survive or grow or, accomplish what they need to in their stories, and there just happens to be this huge overarching stuff going on in the background.
It's not their fault.
Yeah,
They're Bilbo Baggins. They happen to
exactly.
or
Yeah,
Frodo.
they were forced on an adventure. That is for sure. Every
Very good.
single one of them.
How
uh,
cool is that, though, that you got to write something with that generated that level of empathy
yeah,
that
I
people
know.
like, "No, no, I felt like I was her."
No, I felt very like emotional about those compliments because of the fact that I want I truly believe I have a whole TED talk on this that I genuinely want to submit and I want to teach this TED talk is that writing and reading are
Mhm.
what have shaped the world. And
Oh, yeah.
when you see our reading levels dip, right?
Empathy
You see
evaporates.
empathy go out the window and you
Mhm.
see that the world becomes a darker, more dangerous place. And like, and it's happened for various reasons, why
Mhm.
reading has dipped. And every time you see this mass craziness essentially come out of, like, of the world, and you're like, where's the empathy? Where did it go? What
Mhm.
happened to it? And that's why people burn books. They burn books because they
Yeah.
don't want you to think about how other people think, and they don't want you to know about other people's experiences, and they don't want you to know what it feels
Mhm.
like to be in the other person's shoes. And so I'm a big person who's like, don't you don't judge someone by the cover,
Okay.
right? Like you
Yeah.
you sit you sit in the shoes and you hear them out and you listen to what they have to say,
Mhm.
and then you can have an informed discussion because that's like what we all should be doing is
Right. But you
sitting in.
need that empathy in order
Yeah,
to
100%.
to generate the language that you need to have that
Yeah.
discussion.
And
So,
so when I
yeah.
write my books, it's from that's why I have so many different perspectives, is because the way that Zalia sees the world is going to be vastly different than the way that Mazu sees the world, that Renata
Okay.
sees the world. They're going to disagree. They're going to they're not going to always see the right solution. They're not always going to believe that what they're doing is the right or wrong thing. And they have to learn how to navigate and listen and work together, and
Awesome.
yeah. And but that's a real world. And that's how I wanted it to be, was that you could choose your own adventure. You want to go fight pirates? That's
Uh-huh.
Mazu's story, right? And
Yeah.
you can sit in her shoes and know what it's like to lose everything in an instant and suddenly have to decide, how far are you willing to go to save the people you love? Are you willing to turn yourself into a monster just to protect someone?
Yeah.
Or you could start in Zalia's shoes, where the weight of expectation, despite being gifted, her position due
Yeah.
to her lineage, and having these extraordinary powers because of her birthing, you know
Right.
she has extraordinary expectations set on her shoulders, and the test of resilience of being beaten down over and over and over again, and how she
Mhm.
overcomes that. And so you have these, you can choose whatever, essentially, uh story you want to go on, and you kind of just live in their perspective, and you see how they think and see how they feel, and you see how they work together or antagonize one another,
Uh-huh.
or and that's, I think, the beauty of Limoria, you know, as we take out all the overly complicated stuff that our real world has, and we've boiled it down to resource.
Yeah,
And
basically. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and the rest of it, you know, is just human encounters of like, what do you do when someone doesn't agree with you, right? Or
Yeah.
how do you interpret your what is your perception versus the perception of someone else? And then you have to realize as a team, as people, with different perspectives, what's the actual reality?
Hmm.
What,
It's
like, because
somewhere in there,
yeah, because it's
maybe.
somewhere in the middle. You know, my perception is not reality. Their perception is not reality. Reality exists somewhere outside of the biased perspective that we all, you know, we all have,
I'm
whether
not
that's
biased. I just see reality.
yeah, as we're all like taught, and you know, we
Yeah.
go through things, you know, and you have to take yourself out of your own thinking. And I think
Yeah.
reading does that for people. You know, you sit in
Yep.
someone else's shoes for a while.
So everything you just talked about and the being able to take the different adventures in Lemuria is
Hmm.
everything I love about this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you literally have different genres, and he's doing satire, so it's
Hmm.
not, high fantasy, but you have like, let's talk about what it's like to live in like an urban setting. So we're going to deal
Yeah.
with the Watch. Let's go out to the country and deal with the witches. Let's go
Hmm.
talk about the wizards and what it's like to deal with power and have all the responsibility. It's like
Yeah.
it's really cool to see how all those things wove
It is a
through into
massive
politics.
world. Yeah, it's a massive world, and there's a plethora of people that live in it. And this is a small sample you're getting of the
Yeah.
different lives that are lived in Limoria. And
Yeah,
this is
these are just
why
the windows you've made available. Really cool.
exactly. Yeah. And so my publisher and I like have been discussing a secondary series of you know, after the 5 are done and out, is that there's a flip side. You know, you see the legendary heroes, the ones who are
Okay.
named in history, but what about the other people who are just doing what they are to survive? You know, and
Be
yeah,
cool.
and so there's, you know, this whole idea of another set of series where it's the flip side of the legends. It's not necessarily bad guys, but it's the people who are probably viewed as villainous because of the fact that they're doing what they're doing to survive
Okay.
in a world that is dying, you know?
Yeah, we have to the world's sinking. I gotta figure out a way
You gotta
to
figure
keep
out how to
above the
put
fold.
food on the table. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, a couple questions from chat, but I do want
Mhm.
to talk about the fact that you have different narrators and they're all in different time periods,
Yeah.
about what connects all these things. So don't let me forget. We're both going to
Okay.
forget. So the first one is: have you read any of the D&D Choose Your Own Adventure books?
I have not read any
So
of the
the,
D. I did read some of the original Choose Your Own Adventure books.
but not the, and it's called Endless Quest, is what the
Yes.
D&D ones were called.
But I have not read those, unfortunately.
They're actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
remember them.
I read
And
some of
then
the Star Wars ones too.
I never read a Star Wars one. Oh, that would be
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
fun. And then Eric just kind of wanted to ask, like, as a woman, do you find people are more welcoming to you in the RPG community? I think more welcoming now than past. I'm not sure how that, but just curious because back it was pretty rare back in the day to have women
Yeah.
play AD&D campaign.
Um, for the most part, I would say it has been very welcoming. You know, especially at conventions.
Hmm.
There unfortunately still exists, just like in many industries, some prejudice against women working in the industry.
Hmm.
Playing in it has become not as much of a deal. In fact, a lot of people like having women play at their table for different reasons. Not all are wholesome of
Not all
flirt,
are
like, you know,
non-toxic. Yeah,
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 some of them
yes,
are, "Oh, great, now I get to flirt with the with the girl at a table," you know, and it'd be not
yeah.
weird because it's my character, not me. Um,
Let's not do that. Yes, please.
yeah,
Okay.
so there's still that exists, but, playing has become much more welcoming in the space, and, like, I feel very fortunate that, like, the people I work with and have worked with have genuinely been very kind and open to the female perspective in gaming
Hmm. Hmm.
and wanting more diversity in their writing teams and creative teams, um,
Hmm.
and it's because it does offer a wider perspective and different stories, you know? And so it's been fun, and I feel like overall, yes, it is far better than what it's ever been. But there's always going to be some prejudice and some people who think lesser of what I do, and
Hmm.
what I'm able to do just because of, me. Well, my age,
Yeah.
is a big factor, but I know a lot of women in the industry too who, if they're strong and loud and state their opinions, they typically get pushed away, because of the fact that it's still very male centric, and that's the we're seeing a shift of more diversity, and that's great. And
Yeah.
we big companies like Chaosium are wanting to diversify. They want more, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
ethnicities, more genders, more age ranges. They want the demographics, of all to essentially play their games.
Hmm.
Because that's the only way to survive. Honestly, because if you have old
White
men,
dudes. Yeah. We're
yeah, like
we're all
playing,
gonna die
you're
sooner
all gonna
rather than
be
later. Yeah.
dying. Yeah.
So.
So, I mean, and it's like there are, from what I've spoken to a lot of the heads of these things, is that they're like, who cares? They're like, if we want people to play our game, it doesn't matter who that is. We want people
Hmm.
to come together, find a community where you can forget about the real world and come play in a fantasy one, come play in a sci-fi one, come play together, find
Yeah.
ways to communicate with each other, find ways to work together towards an objective. It's gaming is meant to be a bonding experience with anyone that sits down at the table. It doesn't matter anything else, that you're coming together, you're learning how to work with one another, you're
Hmm.
learning how to communicate, and you're learning how to succeed together, and I think that's awesome, that's kind
So
of the mind shift.
that you're developing empathy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Really kind of fun. Um, yeah, it is interesting to watch, even in the couple years that I've been back
Mhm.
in the hobby, to see it even shift more than
Right.
what it had been.
Yeah.
Because you have Kelsey who dropped on the stage like a meteor,
Amazing. Yeah.
which is, and she's one of the most awesome people in the hobby. She's one of the most awesome people that I
Yeah.
know. And you're coming. I mean, you're here. You have Heather Ashcroft running around. You have Shanna Germain over at Monty Cook
All
Games,
amazing. Yeah.
who are absolutely phenomenal. It's really neat to watch, and so much of the hobby, not all of it, but so much of the hobby is self filtering
Yeah.
because you just don't want toxic people or like
Mhm.
demanding you write only stuff for them
Right.
because
Yeah.
it could, first off, it's boring, and then second off, it sucks. So I like it, but good one. And Eric is asking about this. He has a transgender friend in his D&D group. She told me how safe she feels in the group, which
Oh.
is, that's quite the compliment.
Good. Yeah, that's amazing. And creating safe spaces is exactly what we should all be doing as a community, coming together. Again, I'm all about, like it's about learning how to communicate with one another, learning
Yeah.
how to live with together as a community, as a
Yeah.
society. Like it's all about bonding, and you can have different opinions and different views, but it's all about what can we do together though, and what can we accomplish together, when we
Yeah.
encourage and enrich each other, versus diminish and segregate and separate.
It's really weird to me, some of the prejudice that still exists in the hobby, or
Hmm.
well, there is actual overt prejudice, but there's like reflexive, um, like almost like a reflexive reaction to some of the new pushes for diversity. Because growing
Yeah.
up as a 10-year-old who was terrified of being in groups because I knew I was the weird one, like I didn't get to play because I didn't have enough weirdos around me, but collecting D&D and all the other RPGs that I did, like that was where I found my safe space.
Yeah.
Like that was it. And it is weird for me now to see people who are my age and a little bit older who look like me, who very much found the same safe space in role playing games that I did, although hopefully they got to play them back in the day. Um, to have this reaction to other people wanting the same thing they got.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Like, why? Like, can you not
I
see?
don't. Yeah. part of me understands because change is always scary, right? And that I get that. But as an individual, right? Again, this
Yeah,
is the
it's weird.
duality of seeing the reality of it versus like individually. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want anyone to feel the way that you felt? And that whole
Yeah.
mentality of like, well, I suffered, so they have to suffer before it gets better. And I'm like, that's so stupid. Why would you not give someone an extra step if it
Well, I'm
was
a
hard
middle
for
child
you to
Gen
get
X,
up
so I
on
do
it?
want people to
Yeah.
suffer. No,
Joke.
I know about it just a little bit just because of being a
Mm,
pastor, so I get a little bit of a different perspective.
mhm.
And it's when the critiques come in, people don't want to hear because what they hear is we did it all wrong back then.
Right.
And the change, and so they can't process. And it's like, no, we're asking for the same thing you got.
Yeah.
And so they freak out, and that's the reaction. So I was wearing and Eric got me on this, but I was wearing the Page Diversity and Inclusion shirt for one of my
Mhm.
videos, and I made part of it into a short, and I had like people freaking out on me. Like, I don't want some jackass telling me to do this stuff. I'm like, to like not do
So
what you're doing right now. Like, what is going on? One person told me to go to hell. It was really weird.
yeah.
But I understand where it comes from. It doesn't make it any less weird.
Right.
So, but I'm
Yeah.
glad
Again,
you've
yeah, it's that we can see reality if you step out of your own perspective and your own thoughts, but you still have those
mm-hmm.
personally, you know. It's just
Yep.
you can with empathy, you can see the other side regardless of if you agree with it or not,
Yep.
you know. And so yeah, it's sometimes you're just like, it would be so much easier if if we all just agreed, but that we don't live in
Everybody
a world,
just
and nor
just
should we. Nor
think
should we.
like I do. No.
Right. But nor should we,
Um,
because diverse thinking is exactly what we want. We
we
want
don't want
diverse
a
cultures. We
monoculture.
want diverse things, you know? So
Yep.
it's like we need to learn how to have diverse thoughts, but still work together, learn how to compromise, learn how to negotiate
Yes.
in a way that isn't my way or the highway.
I will hang out with Star Trek fans who really like
Exactly.
Discovery,
Exactly.
even though those are not Klingons. They are Klingons. I just don't like them. So, all right, let's get back to that was a fun diversion. So
Mhm.
thank you, Eric. And also I'm really glad for your friend feel safe at your
Yeah,
group. I
no,
think
that's
that's important.
incredible. That's so awesome that you guys have created like a very safe space.
Love it. And I want to go off because this is your time. I don't want to take up, but
Yeah.
one of the things I'm most glad about in the channel is there seem to have been gathered a lot of people who want that type of empathy and kindness.
Good.
And
Yeah.
who really want to talk about games and argue over them too, which is also really fun,
Which is amazing.
which is great. Let's get back to your novels because you have these different ADD segue. There we go. You have these characters who are different.
Mhm.
They exist in different parts of the timeline.
Correct. Yeah. Some of
Is it
them
all in the 500 years from the reduction, or do you go even further back?
No, it does not go further than the beginning of the reduction.
Okay, so it's reduction and forward.
Yeah. So the Ancestry War,
Okay.
which is what incited essentially the beginning of the end, right? Because the
Okay.
Ancestry War is what pushed the doorways to be closed.
Right.
And so that is like, and I take real world elements to create history, right? Because that's what good
That's what
world
we do.
builders do.
Yeah.
um is that essentially anyone who was not from the original realm, right? So like
Okay.
the origin of Viditarium, which is what's Earth essentially, um, that they were either put back through the realm or they were essentially taken out because they believed that what was causing the doorways to burst was the fact that too many had essentially crossed over into our world.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from history.
Right? It's
No,
kind of crazy.
don't know where that
You
came
know what?
from.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
was a decade ago that I wrote this, or that I originated this idea.
Human history has not changed in the
It
last
does
10
not change;
years.
it repeats itself.
It's
Um,
definitely hit the skip.
yeah,
So what are
but
some of the threads that are holding these that that you're reading the same thing other than like the backdrop of like magic is dying? What are the specific threads that are tying these stories
yeah.
together?
So really it's a devious cult called the Domi Nostre, and I say devious
Okay.
because they're viewed as
I
villainous.
like it.
Yeah,
Devious.
yeah, it's
Very
devious.
good. Good.
Because they're viewed as villainous, but in reality, all they want to do is reopen the doorways, right? Like that's their whole objective
Okay.
is they want magic to come back into the world. They believe themselves to be the correctors of history, right? Like they want to
Gotcha.
undo the bad thing. And I can't really tell you much more because otherwise it just kind of spoils the story.
Don't
But
give away the plot.
yeah,
So yeah.
but they're kind of the connecting thread through all of this is that the Domino
Gotcha.
Stray are involved in some part of each of their stories. And it kind of is what brings them all together as the Domino Stray, get prepared to, open the doors. You
Is
know,
that Latin sounding or is it actual Latin?
it is Latin.
What's it mean?
I don't remember anymore to be honest. I looked it up a decade ago
I
and
love
then
it.
I
That's awesome.
decided this was the name because I liked the meaning.
There we
I no
go.
longer know what that meaning is. We could look it up.
We'll have to look at somebody look it up in chat. We're busy. Uh, I love that. It's like I knew what it
I
was at
yeah,
some
I
point,
gen like
and it
I
sounded cool.
oh,
I don't know.
it's our home.
Oh, our home.
Domino's Day means
Oh,
our home.
that is actually perfect. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I
Yep.
cannot wait to read these books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you have how many books are currently out in the series?
So 3 are out currently, and then 1 side novella, which is
Hmm.
the Marsal, and then, which is in the perspective of a side character, and
Okay.
then, 4 is currently being worked on being released, in the very near future, and book 5 should still be coming out at the end of this year.
Apparently, I'm stuttering. Someone's trying to lock onto me with the transport. The signal is being corrupted. That's because at night my signal bounces to another tower, and my
Mm.
upload speed tends to drop, and then it'll come back. So meanwhile, I'm doing
Doop, boop, 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 boop.
um. So really, really cool. Really excited for this, and there'll be a 5-book series when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and there'll be, multiple novellas. There's short stories that are out there in, collections of anthologies and things like that, so,
Cool.
there's other things like that, that are going on as well, which is cool, but, yeah, it's an expanding world where there's an unlimited supply of, of stories that I could essentially write, in Lemuria. But yeah, it's also going to become a game campaign setting, like world setting book. So you actually
For
can
what system?
Dungeon Race RPG is like the primary system, but it's also pretty agnostic. So you could
Okay.
it's
Dungeon
it
Race is
could
Red's system, right? That's the one that
yes,
she's working
yeah.
on. Okay.
So that's the one that is her brain baby and together we've developed to, like finalize and like get it going. So
Rose, it's awesome.
yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
it'll be you can play it in that system, but generally it's a world book. So you can you can play it in any system you really want
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Eric wants to know when the HBO is going to bring the novellas to the screen.
I hope soon. That would be fun.
That would definitely get you to your goal of
Yeah, yeah,
hiring
yeah.
other
I need
people to
just
make
like
stuff.
a million more people to read my books. And
All
then
right.
then they maybe consider it.
So I know your tagline
Mhm.
is again, it's game designer and writer, fantasy author, and girl
Girl
power award-winning girl power GM. We have to get the award-winning in there.
power.
I know you enjoy all of that stuff. Is
Yeah.
there an aspect of it that you enjoy a bit more than others?
Um, you know, writing has always been a very reclusive hobby and activity.
Hmm.
I've always been very isolated when it came to writing. And a part of that's my process of I
Hmm.
really become the character, when I'm writing. I call myself a method writer because of the fact that I will tell myself mantras that these characters would have
Okay.
of like this is who you are, this is who you think, this is how you think, this is how you feel, this is and I'll tell myself these things as if I'm them over and over and over again until I feel like I am them, and
Okay.
then I'll start writing. And that's a pretty reclusive thing to do, right? Like I'm shutting myself out for a while and
Hmm.
becoming someone else. um but uh a part of becoming a game writer is that you don't have that same reclusive tendencies because you're
Mm-hmm.
working with people, you're working with developers, you're working with a team of writers, you're working alongside someone else 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And so it's I honestly that's probably been my favorite part is getting to work with other creatives and develop a community of us that all think in very strange ways because we create the thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so that's honestly been my favorite part of being in this industry is getting to work with other creatives because
Cool.
otherwise you're just kind of like in your own. Hello.
I don't need to be. Oh, hey, Dave, how are you? We were talking about you earlier.
Yeah.
Good to see you. A date we almost hit $2,800 on our Becker kit. So thank you for shouting us out, by the way.
Of course. Happy to do
Um,
it.
yeah,
Support each other.
we absolutely. Oh, boo the stream, boo. There's a Squirrel Plays. Have you ever seen a Squirrel Plays channel?
I don't think so.
So like the
Sorry.
on name, he wrote a novel called Bashkim, but his identity is Scrat, and
Kinda like that. Scrat the
his
squirrel.
Scrat the Squirrel. His reviews are he makes me jealous because his interviews are entertaining and mine are just like in depth. So
I'll have to check your stuff out. That
go
sounds awesome.
check out a Squirrel Place. Go read
Yeah,
it. His book is really good too. I just
yeah.
finished it. He was the book that I finished so I could go buy yours, and then Kobo said that their services were down, so I couldn't buy it. Really cool. I love the idea that you wanted to work collaboratively with other
Yeah,
workers, which
really cool.
is a nice segue into Red Rose Works. Now we're an hour and a half in. I don't want to take up more time than you're able to give. This took we had a lot of segues.
Yeah.
So if you need to get out, just let me
I can
know.
I can go a little longer with you.
Okay, so I want to get through this out. The Ironbound review is amazing. Um, so you do all your work through the auspices of Red Rose Works, and we did touch on this a little bit. How did this come to be?
So it's actually very funny. When I was an author, this was prior to me doing it really full time, is I was actually a marketer. So I worked for a firm in the UK, for years, and I brought those talents to the States and I helped other authors market themselves because it's honestly a skill that most people don't have and it's very necessary. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the boundary that really holds a lot of people back, right? And so Jerry and I actually met because I was her marketer. So
That is cool.
yeah. So like she originally hired me to market for her and we met at a bookstore or we met at Mighty Con that happens in Milwaukee, but it was because of Donovan Shear who owns Studio Moonfall down in Kenosha.
Okay.
He kind of like married us, on site. He was like, "You two are meant to know each other." And since Jerry and I met, there's just been this like, yes, we do work very well together. We work at a very hard, fast pace. And, like we're both ambitious, we're both determined, and we're both
Uh-huh.
passionate about what we do. Um, and so, we together as I was marketing her and things like that, we started working together on other projects like Dungeon Race RPG.
Okay.
And I became the brand manager for that. And then, like my system became, our system. And then, then we started writing together and we were just like, we should have our umbrella company because we kind of do all these things
Good.
together
We're doing
now.
it anyway. Let's make it
Yeah.
official.
So
Okay.
that's how Red Rose works. She's Red and I'm Rose and together we work. So
So it's cool that you were doing that beforehand and you kind of went into it.
yeah.
How did that dynamic change when you made it like official? Did it make it more fun? Was there a little bit more pressure on you now? Like, how did that transition work
Yeah.
out?
I feel like there wasn't much of a transition because we kind of always like my role was a marketer, right? And so she trusted me to do
Okay.
what that was, right? She was like, that's your job. I trust you to do what it is you're doing. And when we then work on projects, we do that same thing, you know?
Okay.
So it's like we trust each other. We both know each other's talents. We can both do everything, right? We're both jack of
Right.
all trades people. But it's nice to just lean and rely on someone to do the other thing, you know? And so we fall into this place of like, well, I can manage this if you could manage that.
Yeah.
And it's not always a 50-50 equal thing, and that's fine with us because we know that in other aspects, we're all both of us are always
Hmm.
working and always working on trying to like secure and procure and exonerate
Okay.
and like do all the things that make our company the best company ever, right?
Yeah.
And we both have that same mentality of of just lifting and rising all tides,
Uh-huh.
and so it was kind of like a natural thing as we both trust one another to do what's best. And like if she does more back end stuff, it's because I'm doing more front end stuff, and then we
Hmm.
split. And then on another project we're gonna swap, and we do all we just it's a perfect balance because we can do all the things. There's going to be time where I don't have the time to do editing or doing this thing,
Okay.
and then so she'll do it because she happens to have the time, or because she feels confident in her time's management in this project.
Hmm.
And then there's going to be times where she's like, well, I can't, I don't have time to do this, and then I'm going to do that. And it's just it's 1 + 1 = 3.
Love it. It's
Yeah.
worked out well.
Yeah.
Very good. I want to give Rose or Rose, you're Rose. I want to give Red a little bit of love as well. So we've
Mhm.
already talked about the RPG system that's her baby.
Yeah.
What are some of the cool things? And can you describe that system a little bit and some of
Yeah.
the other cool things that she's done?
Yeah, so Dungeon Race RPG is a faction-based game where essentially we take book worlds and we turn them into game settings, such
Hmm.
as her Broken Fault Line series, which is a hard, gritty sci-fi geopolitical series that's amazing, and there's a full audio drama now
Oh,
available with
neat.
Sound Booth Theater if you guys prefer that. Look up At Fault by Jerry Red Shepherd. And then there's, Limoria, and so you can take whether that's sci-fi, whether that's fantasy, whether that's any genre of thing, and there's a system that allows you to convert whether that's 5e characters, whether that's Call of Cthulhu characters, whether that's Starfinder characters, and you
Okay.
can take those characters, convert them into Dungeon Race RPG, and play in any world you want to with those characters. And that's like the base scale of that, but it's also a race in the sense that we have tournaments where
Okay.
you can play against whether that's 6 players or 46 players, all racing against one another to accomplish their goals and essentially win the game, right? And it's a core D6 mechanic. So
Okay.
you're using a D6 like the majority of the time. Some of the stat building or character building, you're utilizing the other dice, but it's just really cool. You can argue, there's mechanics for you to actually argue with your GM, and you can stack abilities if you can argue it enough and make it genuinely like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Rose,
um
I have an 8-year-old and you just created a game where
yeah.
we can rules lawyer the person who's in charge.
Yes, you can.
That's like giving me PTSD.
It's
That's not
not rules
fair.
law it's not rules lawyering, it's creative arguing, because they're arguing for the right to do something because they think this is how it would work best. And so it's like,
Yeah, that's
as an
true.
example, you're climbing a wall, okay? There's
Right,
a
right.
there's a few different ways you could climb a wall.
Sure.
Right? So let's say you have, there's a lot of different mission capabilities, which are, like essentially your skills.
Yeah.
And so let's say I want to use my judgment to determine the best path forward, right? But hold
Mhm.
on. There's also, I have a faction skill based off of my faction that, because of the role that I play, right? Or where I'm
Okay.
from, allows me to discern environment. Okay, now that's not necessarily what would be used to climb a wall, but because I'm pairing it with my judgment, I'm going to argue that that does make sense because I'm discerning the environment in which I'm about to climb.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I'm
so
having an argument with my 8-year-old in that.
yes.
That's good.
So
Okay.
you can make purposeful arguments, and that's in the rule systems. Um, and then we also have passions and resistances.
Okay.
And so passions are like this is your ultimate argument. You get up and you give your monologue of why it is you deserve an extra D4 on your roll. It's not because you're being advantageous or because of whatever. No, you have to be like, I am so passionate about climbing this wall because my entire life I've been trying to climb up after my brothers. You know, they're always up in the trees and I always wanted to chase after them and I always fell and I scraped my knees, but this is my time. I'm going to climb that wall and I'm going to prove to them that I'm able to do it. And then as a GM, I'd be like, go ahead and roll that D4. You earned it.
That's awesome. I love it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I am it's just basically one long argument with my
Exactly. And
little
it's
one.
so fun. You just get to argue with each other the whole game.
Again, my daughter would love this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pick
So,
it up for her
yeah.
for her birthday.
We actually had our first 46-person tournament at Warp Storm, which is a store here in Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Where they took their 5e characters, converted them on the spot
Okay.
into Dungeon Race RPG characters, and then played a 4-hour tournament. Where they were divided into factions based on gods that exist in the world that they play in their living world at that store, and they were all racing against the clock and each other to be one of the first people to enter the arena, and there were only 20 spots available.
Can you pitch this to Ron to run next year as a mega event at Page? That sounds really fun.
It was so fun. It was so crazy. You had and so you can target other tables while you're playing the game to slow them down. And so like if you're creative and you work well together as a team, you can
Right.
earn tokens. And these tokens can essentially be used to either give yourself a boost or to punish and slow down other tables. And so you send traps and and we had someone fireball.
You Mario Karted the game?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you can like target each other and it's like super competitive and like it's super fun. Like, and you're all in it together. And so like there actually comes a time in like the second half of the game where there's a separation. There's the champion table. So these are all the people that were successful, and then there's everybody else, right?
Right.
And everybody else still is playing a game, and they're still depending the commission, which is what we call like the tournament play, because there's like different commissions. We have like the DRR, we have the At Fault commission, we have a Limoria commission, we have a Costra commission, right? All these things, everyone's still playing the game regardless if you make it to the champion table or not, right?
Gotcha.
The champion table just gets to play with the director, which is super cool, and like you get the big end stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
Really cool thing to be a part of. And then you have the second half where it's like, now it's not just your table or your faction you're playing with, you're involved with everybody on the same map. So everybody else is now on the equal playing field. And it's just fun. And yeah, it was so successful.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody who played had only amazing feedback on the mechanics and like on the environment and everything like that. So
that's awesome. So you Mario Karted the game, but also it's March. So you basically created the NCAA tournament and the NIT. So you have that's all right. That's cool. I love this. Very good. One last topic I do want to cover because I thought this was most interesting. I think it goes along with something that you were talking about. And I hadn't noticed this before when I was researching kind of what Red Rose Works does for our chat at Page. You do coaching for people, and I love the way you phrase it, for people who want to make a living with words.
Yes, yeah.
So first off, it is not just you and Red who are doing this. I think I saw 2 other people who are doing it with you. So who are the other 2 people who work with you on this coaching?
Yeah, so that's Christopher D. Schmitz and A.G. Wedgeworth, and they're both authors. And Chris specifically also is a game developer and game writer as well.
Awesome.
And we all do this for our living, you know?
Hmm.
Like this is, the way we choose to to survive through life. And what we really want to do is we all do the thing, right? But we all
Yeah.
have different approaches of how we do the thing and how we've gotten like as far as we have. And we all have different perspectives on that. And so we came together to create the Working Writers Mastermind program, which is an evergreen program. So it's like hours and hours and hours of footage of us giving lessons on this is how you do the thing. This is how you set up your business. This is how you set
Gotcha.
up your time management. This is how you do this. This is how you market. This is how, and we have hours of footage of that in that, $250 package on the site.
Uh-huh.
And then Jerry and I together, we do mentoring coaching. So like we actually help people in very specific areas that they want help with. And whether that is business oriented, whether that's creative, whether that's
Hmm.
publishing, we just want more people in the industry and we want people doing it well in the industry.
Okay.
And we're more than happy to provide like the experience and connections that we've made to people who want to do this, and we want to ensure that they have a steady foothold and they don't fall through the
Mm.
cracks
Cool.
in
Is
the
the
drowning of online and
I know there's
yeah.
so much. And that, so the stuff that you and Jerry do is more direct rather than the
Yes.
evergreen.
Yeah.
Have you done, is most of it online, or have you done any in-person stuff?
We have done as opportunity allows it. If
Okay.
they're local, then yeah, of
Yeah, yeah,
course,
yeah.
if they want to come out and we go to a coffee shop or something, that's fine. But if, they're far away, online just makes more sense. But if
Okay.
we know we're going to be at an event together, right? We're going to be like, would you want to have a meeting? Would you want to have a session while we're in person together?
There you go.
Yeah.
But you haven't done like, and now we're going to do a coaching retreat with Red Rose Works, which
Well,
would be cool.
it is coming. The
Okay.
Working Writer Weekend, WWW, is going to be a thing in the
Really?
probably the next few years. That's like a very Monty Python, you know,
Hey.
event that we want to. Especially Jerry, this is like her baby. That this is like the thing that she originated and brought us all in on. Was this idea of a conference of all of us coming together and setting people's businesses up for them and having them leave in the 5 days that we're spending with them.
That's
um
cool.
yeah.
And it's
So
instead of being like a tag on to like something at like Gen Con, like to have its
right,
own thing.
this is
I think that's a neat idea.
yeah, well, because you need the time, everyone needs to
Yeah.
be in those classrooms, and because
Hmm.
they're workshops, it's like it's not just us talking at you, it's us helping you very
Yep.
specifically,
Very
through it.
good.
Mhm.
Just wants to find an editor that can do their job.
I
So
understand. I will say, Represent Publishing. If you don't know who they are, you need to just if you look them up. Represent Publishing. Chelsea Lauren, who is also an author, she's done so much work for me in Limoria, and she's just absolutely incredible. And I highly recommend her services. She honestly makes my life so easy. I love her and adore her so much. And Represent Publishing just is about like an inclusive package that's affordable, that allows your needs wherever they are, whether that's editing services, whether that's helping with distribution, whether that's helping with developing or book coaching. Like she offers such well-rounded packages that people can actually afford, and
cool.
she's super competitive in terms of her cost, and her services are amazing. Like she's honestly helped me in my own development in my writing improve extraordinarily, and she exclusively works on Limoria. So
Awesome.
yeah. Hmm.
There you go, Scrat. There's your lead.
Yeah.
First one's free. Actually, we're going to talk about that in a second. So, if you go to Red Rose Works and you
Mhm.
go to their coaching page, the first lesson is free. So I thought it'd be fun to give, is Nickelback Tiffany's favorite band?
Shut up.
We're just gonna skip over that for now. Thanks,
No,
Eric.
listen, I worked in a bank for years, okay? And my last name is Nickel and it's spelled like the coin. You know how every day, multiple times a day, I heard this joke.
Mhm.
Nickel? Well, didn't you pick
Can
the
I have my
first
nickel back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or is Nickelback your favorite band? Or, like, "Oh, I betcha it would only cost you sound like a cheap date." And
Oh
I'd be
my
like, "Oh
gosh,
my god." And
that's just creepy.
yeah, but then you have to do the bank thing because it's customer service, and you're like, "Oh my god, that is hilarious."
This is the 14th time I've heard that joke this
Yeah,
today.
and they
Yeah.
always think that they're the first ones to ever say this, ever, like,
No,
ever.
listen, here's the thing. Being an older gentleman who's a dad and understands the concept of dad jokes, they all know no one's saying it. It's just that they have no idea how to make small talk, so that's just like what they latch
Oh, yeah.
onto.
Dude, it's fine. It's fine. The
No,
first
it's
time in
annoying
every
as all get
day
out.
the first time in every day is fine. The 14th time of every day, I'm done. I don't
But
wanna
now
do
we've made Eric feel bad.
No,
Um,
don't
so
feel bad.
my
I think
struggle is I have people who think my name is West. I was like, I am not a direction. Like, let's just go to let you know your joke is dumb.
Yeah, it was
Um,
good. It was a good joke. That's why you got my reaction of "Shut up."
shut up. Customer service doesn't get that memo in the South. They'll let you know your joke is dumb. Bless your heart. Yeah, they'll
Bless your
definitely
heart,
bless your
yeah.
heart.
They say it nicely, so at least it feels a little better, huh?
Yeah, I had Darlene bless your heart me when I was interviewing her at Page. It was hysterical. I was like, "Did you just bless your heart me?" She's like, "Well," I'm like, "Oh my
Well,
gosh." She's sweet. Um, so the first lesson, we just went way off track. So first lesson is true. I want to give people a lesson right now for not the folks who are actually in
sure.
chat because I know that they totally understand this. But for folks who might be watching this a little later on, they have this romantic notion of being creative and what it's like. It's work.
It is work.
Like being a working writer is work. So just by way of saying that, can you let people know what your writing routine is in a day? Because it's
Yeah.
insane.
This is the lesson of choosing a passion as a career that is an art. Is that to the starving artist motif is real.
Yeah.
And you have to work in order to not be a starving artist.
Mhm.
So every morning, well, I should say the majority, okay? I just recently almost died from con crud, so I had to take a very rare, like, first time in 3 years, a day off because I had to just sleep. I couldn't do it. What so I wake up at 7 AM, and the moment I sit up, I take my laptop and I begin writing from, like, eyes open. I will sit up and I'll typically just start writing. And then I work until about 9, and that's when I will get up, and then I will get coffee and get ready for the day and move to my couch or to my desk, and then I will continue to work. And then sometimes, depending on, um, whether or not I remember to look at the clock, I will eat lunch sometime during the day, or oftentimes I'll work until 5 o'clock, and then I realize I haven't eaten anything all day. Then I
Hyperfocus
will
is a thing. Yes, yes.
then I will decide to eat something. But then I work again, after taking a small break, and then I'll work until about 2 AM.
Okay.
And then I will
Till
repeat the
2
process.
a.m.
2 AM, yeah.
Yeah. I'm asleep at 11, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
so just for let folks know, it's work. And
it is, yeah.
your writing word count last year was what?
I hit over 1,000,000.
So I mean, you're writing a lot.
I write a lot.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean it's not rewarding.
No, this is what people say, like, you if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. That's utter bullshit. You're going to work harder than you've ever worked before in your life.
Hmm.
But it's going to be rewarding and you're going to feel fulfilled in doing the things. And it's not without its struggles. There are days, as someone who adamantly is like, this is the only thing I want to do in my life, period. Every other
Hmm.
career I've ever had, regardless of success, has never once measured to a day of work that I've done in doing this. But I do question myself and I do get down on myself. And there are times where I'm like, God, this is so hard. I work
Hmm.
too much. I feel like the balance isn't there. And, I do struggle on an occasion with keeping that positive mentality. But the thing is that's 100% normal because you're going to have those days in any career that you do. It's just, don't get discouraged just because it is something that you love.
Yeah.
It just means that you need to do whatever you need to do to reconnect yourself with that passion, to reconnect yourself, whether that's playing a game
Hmm.
with friends, whether that's, taking a day off, whether that's talking to someone about it passionately who doesn't ever understand a single thing you're saying. Whatever it is, whatever it takes for you to reconnect to that passion, do that. But it is,
Very good advice.
yeah.
You need to do that TED Talk.
Yeah.
You really do. This is the last question because it's just popped into my head, and
Mhm.
then I will let you go because we've been on too long. I'm so sorry for taking up so much time. Um, have you ever had a moment where you're writing and you got so angry at a character, you're just like, I'm not going to do this right now?
Yes. I've had that with a few different emotions actually, where I was like, I'm done. I need to walk away.
Okay.
And it's because like I said, when I'm in the mode of writing, especially like my stuff, like my first
Uh-huh.
person, like narrative author stuff,
Hmm.
is I'm so into it that if like I'm arguing because I'm me, right? Like I am this character now. I am the captain now in this scenario, okay? Is, I'm arguing with this other character and I'm like, you freaking asshole. Like, why can't, I'm over here busting my butt. I just took out those 12 trolls and now you're telling me I'm not doing enough? Pick up your short sword and I want to see you go dangle, like off a cliff and you're like and so you get you're like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just got pummeled. I almost died.
Yeah.
And you're saying I need to pick up the pace? Like, come at me. I wanna fight you. Now
I can feel the emotions right now that you're feeling when you're writing that.
and it's funny is I do not get angry in real life. Like, it takes a lot to actually, like, tip me
Okay.
over the scale, and my sister said that she's only ever seen me angry like 3 times in my life, and she said
Okay.
every time it's absolutely horrifying, and she actually ran away because she got so scared, but it's so rare that it happens. You really have to make me mad, and so you
Like,
deserve
yeah,
the
there's
wrath.
something real going on right
Yeah,
now.
you
Okay. Yeah.
deserve the wrath that is coming at you. But so it's like when I'm in these characters though, like most people get angry, like most people get flustered and frustrated,
Yeah.
so it's like kind of funny is like when I do get angry and I'm in character, I'm like, whoa, I need to reconnect with Tiffany for a second.
It's like, I've lost myself in the
I've
muse a little
lost
bit. Let's
myself
go.
in the rage. I've become the Hulk. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and so I have to like decompress from writing on days like that, and like it goes in all emotions. So like
Uh-huh.
whether that's like very sad or like you know sometimes you have to write in the bad in a perspective you don't agree with, and
Yeah.
and that's really hard too. Is like kind of choosing to like disengage with who you are in order to
Yeah.
create this perspective. And like I get a point where I'm so overwhelmed by what it is I just wrote and that I'm like, whoa, I gotta step out. I gotta walk back into my own body, and
Hmm.
then I'll come back to the character in a second. And sometimes the things they go through, it's very painful, like
Yeah.
when you're writing, like I will this is not really a spoiler,
Okay.
kind of is for book 1,
Well,
but
shh.
but listen,
Okay.
everyone says they see it coming, so I feel like whatever. And this is a big turning point. Is like I wrote all of Light of Evanor pretty much up to like chapter 14, chapter 15, and then I couldn't finish it because of a character that was in it. So there was like a different main three that it
Okay.
like essentially was end game. But because of one of those characters, Zalia would have never finished the book. She would have 100% been like, never mind. And so I had to go rewrite the whole thing so I
And
could
pull a
kill this
character out?
character in the beginning of the book instead of the other one because of the fact that she would never finish the objective because of this other person.
Wow.
She would have listened to them and she would have not gone. And
Okay.
and so I was like I had to rewrite the whole thing. Writing that scene of this character dying was one of the most like awful, traumatizing experiences. And like I was sobbing in my room. I was just outwardly sobbing as I was writing the scene of
Yeah.
this person dying and her witnessing it. And my sister came into the room and she was like, what? She was like, did mom die? She's like, what happened? Like she was like, she had never seen me so distressed because I'm a generally pretty neutral person when it comes to like my emotions. Like I'm
Okay.
really just really happy. And so, like she comes in, she's like, I don't think I've ever seen you cry, let alone like downright she thought someone died.
Uh-huh. Well,
And
someone
so
did die.
yeah, someone did die. And so I read her the scene out loud and I was getting choked up trying to just read it back to her. She starts sobbing because she's like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "You wrote it so well." But she was also like, she's like, "The pain that you wrote inside this chapter, you know?"
Yeah.
She said it was so powerful that though she didn't know this character very well. This like,
Okay.
it happens early on in the book, so you don't get much of this character before they go. Is like,
Yeah, but you had lived with her
but
for
you live,
14
yeah.
chapters. Yeah.
And so it's like you're getting all that pain and all the years that she knew this character in that,
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of the book. And so, yeah,
Oh, I've
it
done
was a very emotional scene to write, and that was probably one of the most painful ones I've ever written.
I've written the death of a character
Yeah.
one time.
Oh, it's brutal.
It is brutal.
Yeah. Because they feel real to you. They really do.
They're people.
Hmm.
I mean, they are people.
I'm not, George R. R. Martin. I do not kill for the sake of killing characters. I, like I'm someone who's like, uh, like I'm someone who uses it very specifically and only when necessary and when it
Yeah.
makes sense. So like,
Mm-hmm.
a death should be, because books are metaphorical
Yeah.
in nature, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
like most things in books, whether as the creator we know it or not, we're actually like using psychology in the books. Do it for the tears. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
he does
great.
it for the tears.
Yeah,
Scrat did something in his
yeah.
postlude or the epilogue to the book, and I actually yelled at him on Discord. Like, how would you do this in the epilogue? What are you doing?
I will say, I love it when so the Marsal only exists because of that.
Because
And
okay.
is because I had so many readers yell at me and like pressure me into writing it because they wanted more Vasile. They were like,
Okay.
where, like, what happened to him and what happened after him being tortured? They're like, what happened? They were like, we need more. We need
Okay.
more content. And they were like, and it's not because it's important to the story. It's not at all. You don't need it.
They were invested
But
in
they
the
were
character. Yeah.
yeah, they wanted it so bad. And when I delivered it, so many people were mad at me because it was so sad. And I was like, "What do you want?"
But I gave you what you
want?
wanted. I don't understand.
You asked very specifically what happened to him between these two time frames, and
Right.
I delivered it to you.
And I didn't put it in the book because not good things happen to that person.
Right. And I was like, it's not important to the series, So it's like, it's just background character fluff. And so
But
they're like, "Oh my god."
But that's how you know you made it, because you have people who are angry that what you do with your characters because they're invested in it. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, yeah.
We're at 2 hours. I'm going to let you go. So if you would please stick on just a little bit longer so I can thank you properly when we get off. But Rose, I cannot thank you enough for coming on, for
Thanks for having me.
all of our tangents and just talking. I need to get you down to play a game with my daughter. I would love to have you on for an actual play at some point, which would be fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So much fun. Oh, let's see. Tiffany, if you change your last name to half dollar, 50 cents could be your favorite artist. Just saying. I'm putting that on the stream so people go, this is King Eric to a
Oh boy.
T.
That's the first time I heard that one.
Eric, you have come up with a new joke.
Yeah.
Good job.
That one I could laugh at because I hadn't heard it before.
Very good. All right. You stick on. I'm going to sign everybody out. So everybody thank Tiff for coming on. Rose, you are amazing. I will be back. I'm going to go to my solo camera. And I'll be right back to talk with you, but please stick around just a couple of minutes. So folks, 2 hours, and it just goes really fast. So I was talking up Rose beforehand. You can hopefully, after watching this, you can see just a fantastic person, really talented, just makes some amazing stuff, wants to be a benefit to the whole hobby. So please go check out Red Rose Works and buy the books and do these things, because it's good stuff. And we need more good stuff like this. Very, very good. Coming up on the channel next Monday, I am going to be interviewing Joe Wetzel from Inkwell Ideas, because he's got his new bestiary that is basically taking 90s or 80s rock and turning it into monsters, and it looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to talking with him. I do have my review of the Broken Steps for Dreams and Machines. The first draft is written, so I'm hoping I can edit that and record it this week so I can get up on the channel. Random Thoughts will always be around, and I have a couple other chats, and I think Dave and I are planning on doing a couple ramble streams as we work on the conversions for Ocean Incident into all the different systems that we're running it for. Looking forward to bringing all of this to you. Thank you for coming on and watching tonight. I loved all the comments and chat. Really good time. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.